Hello everyone, welcome to Fynd Academy. I am Kevin Karia and today we're going to be solving 2 sum on LeetCode in Python. So in this video we are going to be first understanding the entire question, and then I have two approaches. One is a very basic brute force approach and the second one is the optimized approach, which will really impress your interviewers, right? So in this video we are going to first understand the question. I'm going to explain approach 1 to you, I'm going to explain approach 2 to you, and then we're going to be coding approach number 2. So let's get started. Let's read the question first. So given an array of integers nums and an integer target, return indices of the two numbers such that they add up to target. You may assume that each input would have exactly one solution and you may not use the same element twice. You can return the answer in any order, right? So let me just explain this to you. The examples given here aren't really that good, so we're just going to create our own examples, right? So let's just say 1, 2, 3, 4 is our array and the target given to us is 7, correct? So this is our entire array. Let me just, it's a bit better. This is our array of 4 numbers. Indexing, obviously, let me just write this in red, starts from 0 in Python. So indexing is 0, 1, 2, 3. And now what we want is that we need the indices of the two numbers which add up to 7. So in this case 3 and 4 adds up to 7, and we've been told that there is exactly one solution and an element cannot be repeated, and we can return the answer in any order. So 2, 3 or 3, 2 does not matter. So in this case, if target is 7, we need to find 3 and 4, the indices of 3 and 4, and return them as, I think, as a list. The output is a list, so right. So 3, 4 should be our output. No, sorry, extremely sorry. The output should be 2, 3, which are the indices of these values, right? So this should be our expected output. So now the first approach that comes to any developer, that should come to the any average person, is that let's do this as T, right? The first approach is brute force approach, that we'll first pick up element number 1, right, and then we'll compare it with each and every element, and then we'll add them up and we'll check if it's equal to target. So we'll do 1 plus 2, 3. Is 3 equals to 7? No. 1 plus 3, 4. 4 equals to 7? No. 1 plus 4, 5. 5 equals to 7? No. Now we're going to go to 2. 2 plus 3, 5. Is 5 equals to 7? No. 2 plus 4, 6. Is 6 equals to 7? No. And then you're going to come up to 3. Is 3 plus 4 equals to 7? Is 7 equals to 7? Yes. So this is the brute force approach. The time complexity of this approach is of n square, and our interviewers don't really like that answer, right? So now this was the basic approach. Now let's move on to the optimized approach. So for the optimized approach, we are going to be using a hash map, and how a hash map basically works is that just a hash map would be a Python dictionary with key and value. So I think so you will be having a colon over here to be precise, and in this case the value that you have is the index at which the number appears. So in this case it will be 1, 0, 2, 1, 3, 2, and 4, 3, correct? This would be if you were to simply create a hash map for your given array. Now what we are going to be doing is we are going to be implementing a smarter approach. So let me just get rid of all of this, right? So what we're going to do is that instead of iterating through each value and adding it to the hash map, we're going to be adding one step in between, where, let me just explain it to you. So we'll create our empty hash map, right? And now we'll go to the first element, 1. Now what we'll be going to do is that n equals to 1, t equals to 7, and our difference is 6, right, which is t minus n. Now what we'll be doing is we'll be checking if the difference exists in the currently existing hash map. If it does not, then we'll be adding n to the hash map, and if it does, then we'll just be returning this index and the value stored for the difference key in the hash map. So let's just skip to another case to explain this better to you, right? So let me just iterate through this entire array, and let's imagine that we had 5 over here as well. Okay, so the index for this would be 4. So what will happen is you'll first go to 1. 7 minus 1 is 6, right? And 6 obviously doesn't exist in our hash map. So what we'll be doing is we're going to go to 1 and we're going to put the value as 0. Then we're going to do 2. 2 minus 7 is 5, and currently 5 does not exist in the hash map, right? For the sake of a better answer, I think we should change this to 6. Yeah. Actually, let this be 8, or else we'll be having conflicting answers. Let's just keep this as 8, right? So we'll be going to 2 now, and then 2 minus 7 is 5, and 5 obviously doesn't exist in the hash map, so we're going to put in 2. We're going to go to 3. 3 minus 7 is 4, but currently in the hash map 4 does not exist, so we're going to put 3 with the index 2. Now we're going to go to 4, and 4 minus 7 is 3. Does 3 exist in our hash map? Yes, it does. So we're gonna just return the index 3 and the value corresponding to the difference in the hash map, so 3 comma 2, right? And what this will do is this will save up space and time for us, because initially if you were to not add this step of calculating difference, what would have happened is you would have created the entire hash map with all the values, and then you would have checked them manually, right? So this just increases the space occupied and the time taken. So instead of that, we're going to have this smart approach. So now let's go to LeetCode and let's code the question. So for the coding part, the first step is going to be creating an empty hash map. So let's just create hash map, and it's gonna be the hash map variable with an empty dictionary because we are in Python. And now there's this thing called an enumerate function. So I'll just show how an enumerate function works for you. So I'm just gonna create k equals to enumerate of nums. Now what this function does is it returns a list of tuples, and each tuple has the value of the element in the array along with its index. So let me just visualize it for you. So k equals to enumerate of nums, and let's just print list of k, right? And if I were to run this, obviously the test case will fail, but in the output we will get to see this, right? So it's a list of tuples with the index and the corresponding value. So we have 2, 7, 11, 15. So 2 is at index 0, 7 is at index 1, 11 is at index 2, and so on, right? So enumerate function does this. So what we can do is, let me just comment this out for you. What we can do is for I comma n in enumerate of nums. So what we will be doing is we will be looping through the enumerate through k basically, and for in looping them, so for looping through 0, 2, 1, 7, 2, 11, 3, 15, we'll be assigning these variables to each of these values. So we'll get the index and the value. And now once we have iterated, what we'll be doing is, since we have the target available, we'll be finding the difference, which is target minus I, correct? Now since we have the difference with us, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be checking the hash map if the difference is already existing over there. So we're just going to do if difference in hash map. So if that is the case, it will return the list of indices. So it will return to us I, and it will return hash map of difference, right? So basically, if we go to the example given, if we go to this example, right, we have 2 in there, and then we have 7. So 7 minus 9 is 2. So we want the index of 2 as well as the index of 7, which is already I, right? And if that is not the case, then we need to add the value of I for corresponding n into the hash map. So hash map of n, it will be a square bracket, equals to I, right? Let's just run this once, and let me just put in some comments so that you understand. So over here we are iterating through each element of the array, and here we are here we are computing the difference and checking if it exists in the hash map, and if so, then we're returning the indices, and if not, then adding the value to the hash map, right? And then at the end we'll have a return false, right? I assume it says, oh no, we don't have to return false, right? So just works with this. So let's just run this. Oh, so while calculating difference, I put in I. We had to use n, right? Because I is the index. So difference is now target minus n. That's a very silly mistake on my end. And let's just run it. And yeah, we're accepted. And let's submit this code. And there you have it. Oh my god, we are at a very nice time complexity, right? And there's a good answer. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching this solution of Two Sum. I am Kevin Karia. You can check out my website in the description. And if you like this video, give us a like, if subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned for more such videos.